Toto Wolff and Christian Horner have clashed over allegations that Red Bull breached spending cap rules, shining a spotlight on the regulations that were introduced by Formula One last year. The Mercedes team principal said Red Bull being investigated after Christian Horner remained adamant that Red Bull had not gone over the cap. But what is the cost cap and how could it impact teams who breached the limit? So first of all, what is the cost cap and why was it brought in? F1 installed the first ever cost cap in the sport in 2021 in a bid to support a financially sustainable sport and give more teams a chance of success and deliver a more competitive competition. Initially a limit of 175 million was set for 2021, but the coronavirus pandemic accelerated the need to F1 to slash costs and the limit was further reduced. So how much is the cap? Following a review in 2020, the cost cap was set at 145 million for 2021, 140 million for 2022 and 135 million for 2023 to 25. Through the figures were based on a 21 race season and an inflation uplift was applied earlier this season. The budget cap applies to money spent on car developments and performance, but not to some big ticket items such as driver salaries, marketing costs, logistics, travel and legal costs. How much were teams spending before is a big question that's asked. The grid's leading teams have been spending in excess of 200 million per season before 2020. Toto Wolff, of course team principal Mercedes, have claimed the rules required his team to reduce their spending by 50 million US dollars and make 40 members of staff redundant. He also claimed that they are using used parts and a significantly reduced development in order to comply with the regulations. How is it being policed though? F1 has set up a cost cap administration to ensure all teams are following the rules, and all 10 teams had to submit complete documentation for the 2021 season by March 31st this year. If any team has fallen foul of the regulations, they'll be issued with a certificate of compliance, and a cost cap adjudication panel or group of independent judges can impose a range of punishments. Why are people saying that Red Bull have broken the rules though? This is following reports in Italian media this week that have claimed that Red Bull significantly overspent in 2021, but so far not all sources have been able to verify those claims. Wolff insists the issue is an open secret in the F1 paddock and told Sky Sports on Friday, I think it was, all of us have been investigated diligently, and as far as we understand there is a team that's in minor breach which is more procedural, and another team that is fundamentally massively over and it's still being looked after. This is an open secret in the paddock, he said. However, Red Bull have reacted furiously to those comments, as you might expect, hinting at legal action against rival teams and insisting the claims are fiction. In a compelling news conference on Saturday as well as this, team principal Horner said the financial submission made to the FIA were confidential and there is no way rival teams could know what the outcome is, as even Red Bull haven't been informed yet. He also described it as an underhand tactic from Mercedes and Ferrari to distract from Max Verstappen's performance on a weekend he could have clinched the championship. Obviously he didn't. He admitted the FIA contacted the team 10 days ago for some clarifications, but maintained his belief that the team had been fully compliant with the rules. Reports in Italian media have also suggested Aston Martin may have been in breach in the 2021 cost cap. Wolff had hinted that they may be in minor breach, with Red Bull guilty of a more serious breach. An overspend of less than 5% would be considered a minor breach of the rules and would carry less severe penalties. However, possible sanctions include deduction of constructors and drivers' championship points, the suspension from one or more stages of competition. However, other sanctions include limitation on teams' ability to conduct aerodynamic or other testing, or a reduction in overall cost cap going forward. Wolff claims minor breaches could allow teams to spend an extra 7 million, and that if penalties were light, then all teams would be willing to break the rules in future. He said the benefits of overspending in 1 year could potentially boost teams in future years, and so it would be worth pushing the rules to the limit. And if a team went over by a lot, which is considered over 5%, it would be regarded as a major or material breach, and the punishments would be harsher. This is a possibility of construction driver championship points could be deducted, or the team could be suspended or excluded completely from the championship. A reduction of a team's cost cap is another potential sanction. The FIA have also insisted any breaches will be dealt with according to regulations, but has also insisted that the current speculation around Red Bull is unsubstantiated. It's expected an official announcement on the teams who have complied with the cost cap will be made on Wednesday, October the 5th. It's not clear when sanctions will be applied to any teams that have overspent. Earlier this season, though, some of the several bigger teams called for an increase in the cost cap due to the cost of living crisis, associated inflation driving up costs and placing even further strain on teams. In July, teams were permitted to overspend on the 150 million limit by 3.1% in 2022. No overspend was allowed in 2021, however. The regulations also account for issues such as the recent collapse of the pound in the UK. A competence formula has been applied to ensure that no teams can benefit from currency fluctuations. But yeah, could Verstappen really be stripped of last year's title? Of course, he eventually won the title by only 8 points from Lewis Hamilton, so theoretically any meaningful deduction in last year's championship would likely to see him drop below Hamilton in the standings. However, nobody has openly called for a punishment at this stage yet. Wolf said it is unrealistic, and Martin Brundle also said on Sky it'd be nonsense to try and unravel all that now. But yeah, could they be disqualified from winning this season's title? Well, if Red Bull are found guilty of material breach, then the exclusion of the championship is one of the potential punishments. Brundle insists any team in serious breach would need to take a heavy penalty, but also suspect the current rumours could fade to black. However, when the cost cap was announced in 2019, managing director of Esperon Walsborn said, this has teeth. If you fraudulently breach the financial regulations, you will be losing your championship. It has serious consequences if team breach the regulations, and we may find out in the next few days if such consequences need to be applied. Anyway guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and thoughts coming out and follow this for daily F1 news and subscribe to our channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.